Sheikh Abdurrahman Al-Omaisan, may Allah preserve him and protect him for us, reminded us of an important matter. Hafidhahullah started by mentioning and saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that from His signs, and that from the signs that show us the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala towards us, is that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of the ayat. And from His signs is that He made for you from yourselves spouses, so that you find comfort with them, and He made between you love and mercy towards one another. So it is from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and from the signs of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that He subhanahu wa ta'ala made for us spouses, and He made between us love and mercy towards one another. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to treat our wives, our spouses, with good, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of the ayah, and treat them and deal with them with that which is good. And likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of the other ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of it, the divorce is twice, and then hold on to them upon good, or release them upon good. So this is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to deal with the wives, to deal with the spouses, based upon that which is good, based upon that which is everything in it is supposed to be upon good, and upon mercy, and upon love and respect. And likewise, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded us with a similar command. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in the meaning of the hadith, fear Allah in regards to the women, for they are confined with you. And likewise, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, fear Allah in regards to the women, for you have taken them based upon the word of Allah, based upon the word of Allah, the command of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said regarding the marriage contract in the meaning of the ayah, and they have taken from you a strong covenant. So it is, as is reported from the Salaf, that the marriage contract is what is meant by this strong covenant. It is the word. It is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which should not be taken lightly. And rather, it is something that should be respected, and one should pay attention to, that one deals with them with that which is good, for He has taken them based upon the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, based upon the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, based upon this marriage contract, that one is allowed to have a relationship with them, to have children with them, to live with them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to live with them, to live with our wives, based upon that which is good. And from that which that comes in opposition to being good with them and treating them with good, is what some people have the habit of using the word of divorce constantly and repetitively. That if one wants to command them with something, he warns them that he will divorce them. As soon as one wants to deal with them, the word of divorce goes on his tongue. And it is something that some people take lightly, and that is not correct. And this goes in opposition to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to deal with them with that which is good. Some people think that they rectify the affairs of their wives by warning them that to continue to warn them that they will divorce them. And in reality, this is not from good companionship, and this is not something that rectifies their affairs. And rather, it is something that breaks them and breaks their hearts, and that is not allowed, and that is not permissible. And likewise, some people use the word of divorce in place of an oath. That when they have a guest, for example, they want them to sit, they swear and they want to make an oath and swear, they use the word of divorce. They want them to eat, they use the word of divorce, and so on and so forth, and that is not allowed. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that there are three things, speaking about them in seriousness is considered something that is serious. And likewise, taking them and speaking about them as a joke is rather a serious matter. And they are held, and one is held accountable for what he speaks. And his speech in regards to them is considered valid. Even if he was joking, that it is considered a valid speech regarding these matters. And there are marriage, divorce, and freeing a slave. So this is not something, the word of divorce is not something that one should take lightly, and rather this is something that is very serious. It is something that one should not speak about. If he intends by his speech regarding divorcing his wife, if he intends to really divorce her, then this would become a valid divorce, and he ends up divorcing her. And if he merely means to make an oath, then he has fallen into a sin, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we are only allowed to make an oath with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and nothing other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded us that if we were to swear and make an oath, then it should be by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So one would have fallen into sin. And in addition to that, one has to expatiate this oath that one made. So it is not something that one should take lightly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to pay attention and to limit our swearings and our makings of oaths. And so we should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in regards to the women. We should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in regards to them. One should fear Allah and know, as the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, that they are confined with us, and it is upon us to deal with them with that which is good. And likewise, the women, they should fear Allah in regards to their husbands. They should fear Allah. They should fear Allah in regards to their husbands and not make them angry. As the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that no woman makes her husband angry, and she sleeps while her husband is angry with her, except that the one who is above the heavens will be angry with her, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should fear Allah, and we should be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and deal with the wives with that which is good, and only speak that which is good. As the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, whomsoever believes in Allah and the last day, then let him say good things or remain silent. And this is how we are supposed to be, that we only speak with that which is good, that which brings forth love and mercy and respect towards one another. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who are conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in regards to their families and households, and those who establish their families and households based upon the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in.